let's jump straight into episode 16 of Dandadan. The first thing we need to address is the most phallic episode I have ever seen. Now, there's a bunch of filler, there's a few things that kind of hit the nail on the head, but the innuendos of phallic appendages is just biblical in this show. It's not meant to be cheeky, they're trying to be serious the entire time. There's no comic relief, but I cannot get the phallic appendages that they have in this episode. Besides that, we start off episode 16 with a large eruption, no pun intended, by the Great Serpent Lord, and we have an entire world of problems. We have the Kito family, we have Perfect Jiji, and of course the earthworm. So much to get into, so much little time. Not gonna lie, we have to address the elephant in the room. The way Momo is handling the serpent, like I said, is not safe for work. It is phallic. Like I said, I don't even think it's meant to be cheeky, but her hand placement during the entire show is it's not the best. Within the first 7 minutes of this boring ass screen time, the only thing saving this anime is, again, the theme song. I've said this over and over again. Dandadan has its highs and it has its lows. And when it has its lows, the only thing that keeps me interested is this song. Every single background of every single shot has a very good tone to it, and it sets the mood for the scene. Now, we have the Kito family who is continuing to chase Momo around, but that isn't all. We get a slight blast from the past with the little priest kid. Again, a random scapegoat and a random savior, but it's what we have. Again, the phallic episode is the only thing that you can pay attention to. That and the theme song. We get a small glimpse of Perfect Jiji, who is completely out for smoke. He is unhinged. There is nothing that anybody can do to talk to him. He is just ready to kill the human race. As soon as he wakes up from getting knocked out by Okorun, he comes out hot and chooses violence. The sense's violence is pretty much the antithesis of the show. There's not really much we need to add on to that. Ups and downs, left and right, we get another blast from the past. That is Mr. Mantisan. This episode low-key feels like a fever dream because all the characters from the first half of Dandadan make their secondary return. We get to see Master Seiko, aka Grandma, aka Auntie. We get to see Taro the Sprinter and the priest. They all come out of nowhere to save Okorun and Momo's ass. It's an obvious scapegoat to me, and it is the only way to keep pace with the good guys who have to end up winning. Perfect Jiji is putting on a clinic, and without the perfect Taro, the running sprinter who can trap Jiji, we knew that it was going to be over for those guys. Realistically, it's episodes like this that remind me of the ups and downs and the highs and lows of Dandadan. There's a lot of just pure randomness. The fight scenes are very repetitive, and without banging a loud-ass soundtrack in the background, this show would be nothing. I completely shit all over season 1, and if you go back and read my review and listen to it, you'll understand why, and it's because of episodes like this. The potential is there, but they love doing random ass shit. Like, after the Avengers version of a team up comes out and all the season 1 characters reappear, of course they're able to capture Jiji. Outside of that, it was up for them. Momo and Mantisan, all these other characters that are really side quests, they just come out of nowhere, and I really didn't enjoy that for episode 16. After Perfect Jiji is finally caught, Momo and the Mantisan hurry back to try to find our main character, Okorun. You have to remember, he was left under a pile of rubble trying to save Turbo Granny the Kit Kat. But luckily, he was encased of a cocoon of dirt, weed, and right here, we kind of see how they're starting to push the pace with the sweet relationship between Momo and Okorun. It's severely underwhelming as an episode. I give it a 3 out of 10, but it does plant a few seeds that we're going to see later on in the show. That being a possible love interest between Okorun and Momo. Now we have Jiji caught, so we're able to kind of see if he's going to be exorcised or what they're going to do with him. And also it sets us up because now he is back on their side. We have the gang back together and we need them because the Serpent God, the Kito family, and many other aliens and monsters in the Dandadan universe are still out and about. And just like I predicted in episode 16, as we roll into episode 17, we see something a little bit different. As again, we learn that Perfect Jiji is legit perfect. That's because the evil eye, which is the spirit, the vessel, the one that is taking over Jiji, is the perfect host. We learn while they're having dinner with Auntie, Grandma, whatever you want to call her, it is said that the evil eye latches onto a host who is high in spirituality. And we know Jiji is a very good believer, a good man, and it just shows that he is the perfect vessel. Auntie, being the genius that she is, also finds out that if Jiji is splashed with cold water, he turns into the evil eye. But if he is splashed with hot water, he is back to his cheeky ass self. A very interesting conundrum, but again, it is building so we can have the team back together. And that is Dandadan to a T. With that, we finally get the comic relief of having Jiji back, and you best believe he is throwing jokes, he's making silly faces, he is back to his regular self whenever there is not cold water around. After the team finally came to save the day, they exit stage left just like I predicted. Mr. Mantisan runs back off into space with his new son, and all the characters from Dandadan Part 1 slowly but surely begin to exit. The biggest part of episode 17 is the intimacy between Momo and Okorun. It is continuing. You gotta remember, at the end of episode 16, when we thought Okorun may have been dead, she was on a mission to save him. Once she saw him, she gave him the biggest hug, and she was so glad that he's alive. She also did not want to let go of him. Overall, episode 17 was a lot better than 16. We got a lot of information about Grandma, the Kitos, and most importantly, Jiji. The slow love burn interest of Okorun and Momo, that is what is going to be the shining light for episode 17. Now we know that this has been building since the first part of season 4, but to keep it professional, we have love in the air, and it's a long time. The slow burn is finally showing light. With Gigi's curse finally figured out, you have to put him on standby because he's fully exercised. Luckily, with the Taro's help holding him together, he's being held captive inside of that body. Again, this is another slow episode, and we see that because the second half of the episode is truly dark and evil, and it shows why Dandadan does great things. I'm so up and down about the show. I don't know if I'm going to love it or hate it. I really take it episode to episode. Dandadan with the evil horror is the antithesis of the show, and we finally get to see Kito, the only person to escape the explosion from season 1. We finally get to see her true form, and it is daunting. Overall, episode 17 was a lot better than 16. We got a lot of information about Grandma, the Kitos, and most importantly, Jiji. The slow love burn interest of Okorun and Momo, that is what is going to be the shining light for episode 17 for me. Me being 2 for 2, we do get the exorcism of Jiji in episode 18. But of course, they don't do it in a traditional way. They do the craziest thing I've seen in anime in a long time. You know they had to go very far to that. They did a exorcism by a group called the Hunting Soul. And this is a full-on concept. And don't worry, it wasn't just a 1-minute part of the show. This scene took up the entire 5 minutes. Again, this is typical Dandadan fast and pure concept. Now let's not get it twisted. This isn't no K-pop demon hunter, but the song was pretty catchy. It's a funny scene, and it just shows that Dandadan does things big. I don't understand how they had to do an entire monologue, AC/DC, Thunderstruck, Ozzy Osbourne, RIP to the God. They went full on. Cameras, different angles, and a catchy tune. But nonetheless, it happens. So let's get straight to it. Do they constantly go overboard, over the top, and do too much? Yeah. But would I have it any other way? Absolutely not. This show was silly, and again, it gets me back on the train. They end up finding out the kid inside of Jiji is innocent. And just like Naruto promised the Hokage, Jiji promised the kid that he would play and save him. One day they would play together, and he is not going to let that up. So they end the exorcism, and this has to be a catalyst for the team to get stronger. On the flip side, this means that they have to babysit Jiji, and this goes in many different forms. Anytime he takes a bath, a shower, washing his hands, drinking water, using soy sauce, and much, much more. Any contact at all with cold water, and it's up. So let's get straight to it. Do they constantly go overboard, over the top, and do too much? Yeah. But would I have it any other way? Absolutely not. This show was silly, and again, it gets me back on the train. They end up finding out the kid inside of Jiji is innocent. And just like Naruto promised the Hokage, Jiji promised the kid that he would play and save him. One day they would play together, and he is not going to let that up. It's setting us up for a good base for the following episodes to come, but that is episodes 16, 17, and 18 of Dandadan. I hope you all enjoy it. This show has me riding a roller coaster. Some episodes are really good, others are trash, but that's my honest review. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know what you thought about that live action performance that they did, and I'll see you all in the next one.